In a world where the extraordinary is the norm, and the norm is, well, kind of boring, Kazuma's life was a perfect example of the latter. His days, fate would have it, his life, the new world they found themselves in was not the realm of high fantasy Kazuma had envisioned. Instead of slaying dragons and rescuing princesses, he found himself doing odd jobs like cabbage picking. It was less epic hero and more part-time farmer. This world was not adapting to this new world was a blend of frustration, face palms, and the occasional why me moments. His gaming skills, while somewhat useful, didn't quite prepare him for that seemed to filled with Zuma's unexpected and slightly ridiculous foray into the fantasy world. He was accompanied by a cast of female characters who were as unique and bizarre as they were indispensable to his adventures. Each brought her own brand of chaos, making Kazuma's life simultaneously more thrilling and more headache-inducing. Aqua, the goddess who was supposed to be a heavenly blessing, but often Aqua was the perfect combination of angelic and annoying. Her powers have played the crucial role of comic relief, unintentional troublemaker, and occasional savior, all wrapped in one. Megumin, the pint-sized powerhouse with an obsession for explosion magic that would put any pyromaniac to shame. Wearing her witch's hat like a crown, Megumin's daily explosion ritual was non-negotiable, regardless of its impracticality or the fact that it left her as mobile as a log afterward. In combat, her one-shot wonder was the team's secret weapon, as long as nobody expected anything from her post-explosion. Darkness, Lalatina, the noble crusader with a penchant for getting into harm's way, not for heroic reasons, but because she kinda liked it. Her battle prowess was as formidable as her bizarre desire to be a damsel in distress. Darkness's armor was as shiny as her masochistic tendencies were shadowy, providing the group with both a reliable defender and a source of never-ending awkward situations. Wiz, the lich-turned-shopkeeper who defied every stereotype about undead sorcerers. Gentle, kind, and a bit clumsy, Wiz was the team's go-to for magical items and awkward conversations about life as a lich. Her friendship with Kazuma was a mix of magical insights and how to run a retail business 101, proving that even in a fantasy world, retail is universal. Eris, Darius, the goddess of fortune, whose appearances in Kazuma's life were as fleeting as they were impactful. Eris brought a touch of grace and calm to the otherwise chaotic life Kazuma led. Her serene demeanor and occasional life-saving interventions were a reminder that not all deities were as high maintenance as Aqua. Together, these women turned Kazuma's adventure into a roller coaster of emotions, antics, and the odd life-threatening situation. They were the perfect blend of power, peculiarity. They weren't just his companions. They were the source of his greatest trials, triumphs, and face-palm moments. Their partnership, to be a bizarre partnership, they found a strange rhythm. Aqua's ability to turn the most mundane task into a fiasco was matched only by Kazuma's growing talent for cleaning up her messes. Key moments in their shared story often teetered between disaster and hilarity. Take, for example, their encounter with a group of giant frogs. What should have been a straightforward battle turned into a slapstick routine with Aqua as the unwilling star, providing both a problem and a solution in her unique, chaotic way. Kazuma's role as the straight man to Aqua's clueless deity routine became a central part of their relationship. He was the voice of reason, most of the time, and she was the impulsive force of nature that kept things interesting, to say the least. Their bickering was the stuff of legend, a constant reminder that even in a world filled with magic, some things, like a goddess with the maturity of a child, never change. Analyzing their dynamic revealed a partnership that was as deep as it was dysfunctional. Aqua, for all her divine might, was often the source of their troubles, while Kazuma, the supposed ordinary human, frequently turned out to be the real hero, albeit a grumbling one. Together, they were an odd couple navigating the challenges of a fantastical world, proving that even in the most extraordinary of circumstances, the most human elements, like bickering over who's to blame for summoning an army of undead, endure. In the kaleidoscope of peculiar relationships that Kazuma formed in the fantasy world, his friendship with Wiz stood out like a sore thumb, a very magical and occasionally clumsy sore thumb. Wiz, a former leash who decided the undead life was overrated and opted for a more peaceful career in retail, was a bundle of contradictions that baffled and amused Kazuma in equal measure. Their first meeting was less epic battle against an undead sorcerer and more awkward introduction at a magic item clearance sale. Wiz, with her gentle aura and a habit of knocking things over with her sorcerer's sleeves, was as far from the terrifying leash stereotype as one could get. She was more likely to offer you a discount on a cursed ring than to unleash a horde of zombies. The dynamic between Kazuma and Wiz was an odd mix of magical consultancy and customer service. Kazuma found in Wiz not just a source of magical items and advice, but also a peek into the complexities of being a lich-turned-shopkeeper. Their exchanges often veered from serious magical discussions. His impact on Kazuma's life was subtle yet significant. She provided a semblance of normalcy in the otherwise chaotic world he inhabited. Her shop was a sanctuary where Kazuma could escape from his daily dose of madness and find something resembling a regular human interaction, even if it was with an undead sorcerer. The moments they shared ranged from the mundane to the surreal. Whether it was discussing the best way to ward off a ghost or how to organize a discount sale for magic wands, Wiz brought a unique perspective to Kazuma's life. Her calm demeanor and unintentional clumsiness were a refreshing change from the high-energy antics of his other companions. In summary, Wiz's presence in the story added a layer of calm to the storm that was Kazuma's life. Their relationship was a testament to the fact that, in a world filled with dragons, gods, and explosion-obsessed mages, sometimes the most extraordinary friendships are the ones that revolve around the simple things, like running a magic shop without accidentally setting it on fire.